Hello, my name is Michael, and welcome to another one of my videos on enlightenment. I've been on this path for about 4 decades now, and I have finally thought that I might actually know something and have the ability to teach somebody. And so I am here to share with you some of the experiences and some of the things I've learned. And today we're talking more about the Kundalini Awakening process. O-C-E-S-S. Well, it's almost off the edge, right? More about the Kundalini Awakening process. And in fact, we're actually going to start getting into the steps on how to do it, right? This is step 1. And these steps are honestly in no particular order. You can do them out of order. I just organized them this way so that I can keep track of them for myself. And so this is step 1, or preparing your path, right? And this is your energy path. This is your energy path, right, of moving energy. Okay? And eventually that's what Kundalini is. It's a divine creation energy that we're going to learn to move through our bodies for higher spiritual practices. So let's talk about it a little bit here. Now imagine, and it's a visualization where you take your finger, one finger, doesn't matter which finger, but take this finger, I like this finger, and put it in the dirt outside, right? Draw a line. All right? In fact, let's draw this like we're actually there. Let's say, oh, here we got some dirt, right? Like a brown. So we drew a line, right? I drew a line, and then I took a bucket, right? Got a little handle on it, maybe a little spigot right here. We take a bucket that is full of energy, and we're going to call that energy. I'm just gonna make it orange for the sake of fun here. We're gonna take that energy and pour it out of the bucket in the line. What happens to that energy? Well, that line you just drew in the line, what is it? Maybe like a millimeter, a couple millimeters. Even if you pressed really hard and dragged your finger, right, it'd be really hard to do, especially if it's hard-packed dirt. And that's really what you're working with, hard-packed energy channels in your body. So you draw that, and the energy kind of spills out. It doesn't go nowhere. It stops maybe up in here in the very beginning. It goes nowhere, right? Take your finger, draw your channel again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And every time you draw it, you keep pouring a little bit more energy into it, right? Pouring more and more energy. It still spills out, but eventually you've drawn that line so many times, poured so much energy. Sure, someone's going to still leak out a little bit as it goes, but eventually that energy is going to get to the bottom. It's going to get down here, and we're just going to draw a little basket down here. It's going to get down here to what we're going to call our basket, right? It's going to get in that basket, and of course it's going to get down there, and of course some of it's going to leak out of a basket. It's a basket, right? It's not a bucket. It's a basket. But you're eventually going to pour your energy in and get that path moving, so it's not just a trickle of water, but it's a gush of water. That you might have some things in that energy, right? Maybe you had a rock, right? It's called a blockage, and we're going to go over that in other videos. Maybe another blockage, right? Maybe you had a diversion, right? Maybe your path went like this, over here somewhere, and the energy's going that way. Right? You may just draw some energy. It's going the wrong direction, right? You have a misalignment. Eventually, you're going to create so much energy coming through here. There's another stack of energy, and that's over here. Let's assume I'm going to draw it as a star, right? It's a very bright star. However, in front of that energy, there's a barrier. What happens eventually, you get this channel so well, this power energy, this is our Kundalini energy, by the way. It's our original essence if you follow into Chinese medicine and stuff, or you could talk about the snake energy, all other kind of stuff, but it's your Kundalini. Eventually what happens is this energy breaks through this barrier and goes this way, right? And it comes not as a little bit, but it comes as a massive gush. In fact, it's going to go like this. It's going to blow away all these channels, all this crap. It's going to explode through here. This is called the lightning. I don't know if I can draw a lightning bolt here. For a reason. It's called the lightning path for a reason. Now, are there other methods besides the lightning path? Absolutely. This one will feel like a bolt of lightning going up the spine of your back. And we're actually going to get into that. And that's just you opening the channels. This is the concept of opening the channels. And now we're going to get into how do you do it? How do you actually do this step? And let's get there. Do we have enough space on here? I think we can draw it right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use black so we're not getting our channel here. So this is what we call running our orbit. Orbits, right? It's called running our orbits or microcosmic orbits. Once again, if you study your Chinese medicine and stuff like that, it is your microcosmic orbit. Your macrocosmic orbit is doing the same thing, but through all of the energy channels of your whole body. And step one is to clear your mind, the Zen mind, the unthought thought, the thinking where you're not thinking. I personally like the single point focus, and this is step one, is clear your mind. And I'm going to make an entire how to do that video. It's going to be a practice, do it this way practice, and it's going to go on for a half hour. It's like a half-hour prep practice, right? Until you get to where you can just drop your mind and not think. And that's a whole nother video, and it's probably going to be another half hour, so look for that video when it comes out. Step two is sit in the proper position. And actually, I'm going to draw it over here. Let's assume you have a stool. Could this be done on a meditation pillow? Absolutely. But you have a stool. What you want to do is sit, right? So here's your knees, here's your butt, so that your butt or your hips are higher than your knees and your feet are nice and easily on the floor. They're not dangling or anything like that. Your spine is erect. Here's your head here, right? And your ears here. And then you have your little arms there, right? Maybe you have some hair, maybe, right? Long hair. Always cooler with long hair. But anyway, the idea for your seated position is to sit down. And Kundalini, your posture is very important. Other meditations and stuff, you can do it from a laying down position. You can do it from sitting on your couch or whatever. Kundalini, because we're preparing a path, a very specific path, because you want to make sure this goes through a very specific path up the spine, that your spine must be perfectly erect. So imagine there's a string attached to your head. So it's going to pull your head forward a little bit so your spine is completely straight and erect as you're sitting, right? And then it's all the way down from the top to the bottom. Your ears are almost like grab your ears and pull them straight up like little elf ears. Pull them straight up. And so you have an erect spine. Your tongue goes right to the roof of your mouth. This completes the channel with your tongue up. If your tongue is not up, you will not complete the channel and you will have problems. It won't completely go back down the front. And in fact, when you straighten the spine in the front, it straightens the front for it to go back down again. And for our energy, we're using this color for energy. And this is actually, let's write that down first. Step two is sit. Sit. Proper position, right? Step three is visualize, and this is ball of energy. Right now, this is regular energy. This is not your Kundalini energy. Okay? And you want to visualize a ball of energy right there in your womb space. And for guys, it's right above your parts below your belly button. It's right here, if you can see it in the video, in the front, in the center. Make a white ball, about the size of a golf ball or so. It will eventually grow and get bigger. And it's white, not because it's a pure white, but because it's a rainbow of all colors combined to make a white light energy. And if you're having a little bit of hard time visualizing this energy, or you moving your awareness down into this space, and that's where you really want it, in this space, you can imagine it has like a little galaxy spinning and pulling in energy everywhere down in there. You maybe from outside of yourself pulling that energy in, and building that white ball until it's nice and bright and brighter, and maybe warmer and warmer. You might actually feel a warm sensation. I found also if you take a sock, roll it up in a ball for moving your self-awareness, tuck it down in your pants right there over top of that spot, and it'll help draw your awareness down in that space for gathering and making this white ball of energy. Okay, and that is step 3, make the ball of energy. Step 4, of course, will be to move the ball, right? Move your ball. Now this is the easiest ways to kind of draw this, but you're going to take that ball down the front to the base of your spine right here. Back up the spine to the crown of your head. Back down, this is the connection point at your tongue. This is the actual connection point. And then back down the front, back to the original space. And the energy goes this way. Can you move energy in the other direction? Absolutely. But for Kundalini, this is the way you want your energy to go. And so we're going to practice that. Now on me, here, it goes down the front, past my sex organs, back around to the base of my spine, up my back, through my straight spine, up to my crown, back around. Here's the connection point of my tongue, which is up. Can't talk with it up. And then back down the front to this point, to the original start point. And that is one orbit. Right? Moving your ball. Now, because we're talking about doing this many times, our natural bodies, an actual natural cycle of the human body in the northern hemisphere, there is a congeal of energy that does the exact same thing. It's about up in the crown around midnight or so, and comes back down here around noon or so, right? In the southern hemisphere, if you're southern hemisphere, it's actually opposite. It will be up here at around noon or so, and down here. It has to do with the magnetics of the earth, not necessarily the sun cycles, right? Now guys, it kind of fits a sun cycle. For girls, you have lunar cycles and stuff also in here, which will also make this slightly different. This whole process gets slightly different, right? But it's still very achievable, and you still can do it. Now, you want to do this moving ball for about 30 minutes, right? For about 30 minutes every day. And that will give you can probably move that ball, depending on how fast you get it, and how you actually got to feel the energy moving. You want to feel that energy moving around. And honestly, you're not pushing that energy. You're not grabbing it, pushing it up. You're actually creating a vacuum and pulling the energy behind it as it moves around. It's how the energy actually moves. And so you do this many times. You're probably going to start getting to like 30 minutes, 200 times a day, maybe more, maybe less. And eventually, you'll get that path, and all those blockages will get clear enough to eventually get this energy ready to go. And we're going to talk about that energy in another video. Okay, step 5. And this is store your energy. This is after you've done it for 30 minutes every day for 30 days. By the way, 30 days. You're not going to do this for just one day and hope it's going to work. You're going to have to do diligent 30 minutes, 30 days. But doing this, you're going to store your energy. And the whole reason for this is so that the next time you go to use your bucket, it's already got a bunch of energy in it, right? So we talked about this in the other videos. The vast storage of space inside the human body is your sacrum, is your tummy area, is that womb space. You can store a ton of energy. I'm talking about an ocean of energy in that space. So what you want to do after you're done doing this, take all that energy, pull it back down to your womb space, sacral space, and then start to spin it, either clockwise or counterclockwise in a horizontal inside your body, right here. Right? Now I've seen some people, they like to rub the tummy almost like a little crank, so it does the crank and kind of cranks it around like a gear. I personally like doing it this way, kind of rotate around. If I need my hands to do it, I did that originally, and now I just do it as it needs to be done. And you'll notice, depending on however you want to say, one way it spins easier, and the other way it pulls into a whirlpool, almost like a little mini whirlpool that pulls all that energy into a little point of light. spin it the first direction where it spins easily to kind of pull in all the energy from around you, inside you, into that plane, and then spin it the other direction a minimum of 33 times in each direction, maybe more. You might have to do it for 10 minutes. It depends on how much you do it, and pull all that energy down into that space so that it's stored there, so you won't lose it, so it won't leak away out of your body, out through all the other channels. Because if you just let it be in there wrapping around, it's going to leak out. You want to store as much as you can, as tight as you can, in your sacral space, so you have it in your bucket for the next night, So eventually you have a lot of energy coming through, not just a little bit of energy. Your bucket gets bigger and bigger. And so that is the bare bones. This is the bare bones of running your orbits. There's a far more detailed. I'll probably do a step-by-step, do this process with me as an actual physical exercise in another video. We've got a blank page. So that's pretty much step one. It's fairly straightforward. It does take work, 30 minutes for 30 days. You have to basically sit properly. That's very important. Your clear mind is important because you don't want your mind racing everywhere else. We'll have to make a whole nother video for that. And of course, you're going to have to move that ball of energy around your body for preparing your path. If you have any further questions or anything, certainly ask them in the comments below. I am making other videos. You can check out my other videos, check out my channel. I give you much love and care. Thank you and good night.